The hour of 4 p.m. having come and gone, the House Gaming Committee shall come to order. Do I do a roll call?
I don't think you have to.
I could just go to the... There being no more business, the Gaming Committee will recess till the call of the chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. The hour of 3 p.m. having come and gone, the House Judiciary Civil Committee shall come to order. Clerk, I just want to note for the record, we are on a recess roll. For this afternoon on the order, we have House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4540, House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5365, House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4722, and House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 4842. And with that, we'll get started. We'll start with House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5365. Representative Musman is recognized whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. House Floor Amendment 1 is a gut and replace amendment that we had suggested would be coming. It retains the underlying bill's intent and some of its language, but it does make a few changes. It removes references to supported decision-making from the Illinois Probate Act of 1975, which would have required courts to consider supported decision-making as a less restrictive alternative to provide decision-making support for an adult with a disability prior to appointment of a legal guardian. The amendment is an agreed amendment with NAELA, Illinois, and ISBA that addresses the concerns they had raised and removes their opposition. The bill, as amended, will preserve the salient legislative intent of the GAC's initiative to expand eligibility to utilize supported decision-making agreements to all adults in Illinois in alignment with nationally recognized best practices. This bill will also strengthen safeguards against exploitation in statute. Together, these changes recognize that supported decision-making is an important part of the broader continuum of support to enhance self-determination and strong support networks for people with disabilities in our state.
Thank you, Representative. I just want to note on witness slips for House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5365, I do see 3 proponents, which include Tanika Jennings with the Illinois Guardianship and Advocacy Council and 1 individual. Slipped with no position, we have David Eldridge with the Illinois State Bar Association. Spokes, can I have leave to waive the reading of individuals? Thank you. Do you have anyone here seeking to be recognized to provide testimony?
I think there would have been, but I think they are late in deference to the room change. So
Understood. If they arrive and want to be heard, we will happily recognize them. But if there's no further testimony, we'll go to questions from members. Spokes, please.
Yeah, just real quick. So, trying to understand this, because I'm not dealt with this, so you get supportive decision-making, is the disabled adult and somebody else is going to make, like, co-decisions? How does this work?
So it's, as already exists in the universe, right, a lot of times we ask the advice of our friends and family and other people that we trust as we're trying to make decisions for ourselves, especially about maybe a topic we're not as familiar with, like maybe financial situations. This creates a bit more of a framework and a structure around that, so it kind of creates some guidelines for people. As you know, sometimes if you're just accepting the advice of friends, there can be miscommunications and hurt feelings and misunderstandings. And again, this sort of creates some structure that makes it, I think, clearer what everyone's roles are. And again, this is a thing that already exists. We already have it in statute for seniors and others, and this is practice in the nation.
All right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any additional questions from members? Seeing no further debate, Representative Vella moves to recommend that House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5365 be adopted. Is there leave or partisan? Leave being granted on a vote of 20 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 voting present. House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 5365 is recommended for adoption and will be favorably reported to the House floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee.
Thank you, Representative. I think that brings us to House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4540. Representative Hernandez is recognized whenever you're ready to present. And While you're getting settled, I'll just note witness slips for the record. On this amendment, we have two proponents, which include David Eldridge with the Illinois State Bar Association, and, it was just David Eldridge twice. So not seeing any other witness slips. And with that, you're recognized to present.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before you have House Bill 4540, if you remember correctly, a couple of weeks ago I came by to talk to you about this. This would allow long-term relationships to be able to have go to court and fight for custody on your pets, on a companion animal. Currently, you can do it with individuals that are married. If you're married, you get divorced, you could go through a court proceeding and find the well-being of the animal and see who they go with. However, we're currently missing that component of long-term relationships, which also will be defined in this bill, which is under parties, which I have here, the list. So it includes domestic partners, former partners, includes also cohabitants, fiancés, and roommates who share the responsibility of the animal. We also included the temporary possession of it, so the court can decide if there is maybe a temporary custody that they need to figure out. The court can issue temporary possession of a care or caregiving orders, including limited visitation, if necessary, to reduce stress or disruption of the companion animal. Under the companion animal, we also talk a little bit more of the well-being of the animal, of course, considering the feeding, the grooming, the emotional support, the bonds, the age, physical, behavioral vulnerability, and other items. So this bill, the amendment itself is from the Illinois Bar Association. We worked with the animal law group that they have to create this bill, and instead of creating a separate act, this is going to be added to the pre-existing statute.
Thank you, Representative. I know you worked really hard on this bill, and I appreciate that you took the suggestion of the committee that you work with the Bar Association and experts in this area of the law so that we will be amending the appropriate existing statutes to ensure that we have a process that not only our courts will understand, but practitioners in this area, as opposed to making a standalone bill. So thank you for your hard work on this. I know this is something that means a lot to you, to ensure that there is a process through which domestic partners, others who have a pet in their families, that we want to make sure continues to receive the care and companionship as appropriate, and have it adjudicated in the same way that we might other issues under family law umbrellas. So thank you for that. I don't know if do we have members seeking to be recognized with questions? No. Do we have additional testimony? Okay, seeing no further debate, Representative Canty moves to recommend that House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4540 be adopted. Is there leave or partisan? Partisan leave being granted. Partisan leave being granted on a vote of 13 in favor, 7 opposed, 0 voting present. House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4540 is recommended for adoption and will be favorably reported to the House floor. Thank you. That brings us to House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 4842. I will be presenting for Representative Kelly, so I'm going to put Vice Chair Canty in the chair.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman. You are recognized to present.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I have permission to present for my chair?
Leave is granted.
Thank you. So I'm presenting this House Floor Amendment for Representative Kelly. House Floor Amendment 2 simply makes 4 technical corrections to ensure consistency with existing statute and definitions. Specifically, the amendment aligns terminology with defined terms in the statute and incorporates an additional provision to maintain consistency with related sections. The underlying bill is an initiative of the 100 Club in Illinois, and I do have Chris Lowry here available to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. On House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4842, we have 3 proponents, 0 opponents, and 0 with no position. Proponents include Caitlin Brennan and Chris Lowry with the 100 Club of Illinois. And I see Mr. Lowry at the table. Are you here to provide testimony?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just here for any questions if members have them. Thank you.
Fantastic, thank you. Are there any members seeking recognition? There being no further debate, Representative Vella moves to recommend that House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4842 be adopted. Is there leave?
Yes.
Thank you. Leave being granted on a vote of 20 in favor, 0 opposed, 0 voting present. House Floor Amendment Number 2 to House Bill 4842 is recommended for adoption and will be favorably reported to the House floor. I will now turn the chair back over to Chair Gon Gershowitz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Gon Gershowitz in the chair. The last item on the order for today is House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4722, Representative Jimenez. It's my understanding she is presenting in Labor Committee right now, so we will just stand at ease, and we'll do that shortly. We're back on the record. The chair recognizes Representative Jimenez to present House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4722. While you're getting settled, I just want to note for the record on witness slips, we have 15 proponents, which include David Eldridge with the Illinois State Bar Association, Delio Calzolari, James Chandler, and John Donovan. Marissa Longoria, and Marissa Longoria with the Office of the Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And spokes may have waived to read the individual proponents.
Yes, leave, sorry.
All good. Then we are ready, Representative, to hear testimony in support of the amendment.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. We did come to this committee very recently and talked about the underlying bill, and today we just wanted to talk about the bill which adopts some of the recommendations from this committee and from other folks who weighed in to ensure that we have everybody on board with this bill. And I'd like my witness to explain those.
Thank you. I see we have Mr. Donovan here. If you just please state your name and organization for the record, then you're
Sure.
recognized to proceed.
John Donovan with Dykema. We represent the Office of the Circuit Clerk of the Clerk of the Circuit Court in Cook County. Oh my God, long day.
Long day. It's good.
So as Representative Jimenez said, we were here last week and we presented the majority of the substance of the bill. In the amendment, it basically just makes a bunch of kind of clarifications and changes based upon some recommendations. We spent a long amount of time working with the ISBA, especially, I want to thank Dave Eldridge for his help on that. The changes, the biggest change and most substantive that came up is the first one, which is it adds language. It's on page 5, and it basically says that no will get any more validity than another one that was filed. And that was a big concern of a lot of the practitioners who we spoke with, and we wanted to make sure. Another big fix here was one from the Administrative Office of the Courts, which is a clarification to make sure that these aren't viewed as public records or court records. So we wanted to clarify that. And then another technical change was we did fix, the original language had the term husband and wife in there. We changed that to spouses. And that was a recommendation that Representative Tarver had brought up in the last hearing. And that's pretty much the bulk of the changes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Do we have members seeking to be recognized for a question? Spokesperson Ucasti?
This remains voluntary with the amendment, correct? They
It
can
does.
set one up should they choose, but they don't have to.
Correct, it does.
Thank you.
Do we have additional questions? Seeing no further debate, Vice Chair Canty moves to recommend that House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4722 be adopted. Is there leave or partisan? Leave. With leave being granted, there being 20 votes in favor, 0 opposed, 0 voting present, House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 4722 is recommended for adoption and will be favorably reported to the House floor. Thank you, Representative.
Thank you, Chair.
And there being no further business before the Judiciary Civil Committee this afternoon, we will recess to the call of the chair. Thanks, everyone.